Hi, I'm Sandy and I'm single.
And I'm Liz and I'm married.
And
this is Single and Married LA.
Thanks for joining us again, guys. So we just got back from Vegas.
We did.
It was actually pretty uneventful. I did not meet anyone. You know, we talked about in our other episode, possibly I would meet someone, you know, in the pool.
Did anyone come up to you at all?
No, not even. I didn't even talk to any guys at all, whether it was that or we didn't really go out. I guess that's true. The pool party was a lot of fun. We went to Encore. Definitely suggest that for people who want to go to have a real Vegas pool party experience.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of people. The highlight of that was we got these drinks that were $60. 60.
So crazy.
Actually, no, I lied. 66. It was 66 because I remember I tipped and it was 70. So yeah. So all in all, it was $70 drinks. Granted, we did have two and I blacked out, so there's that.
Oh man, I on the other hand decided to not do the $60 drink because
smart.
I thought it was unconstitutional or something like that.
Yes, I agree with that. That's actually very true.
But instead, I bought like $15 to $20 wines and beers. So.
And how many? Do you know like how much you spent versus how much I spent?
Oh no, it was like
significant.
No, it was probably like $60. So I spent like one drink's worth.
Oh, okay, got it.
And yeah, I like had a good time. I definitely knew where I was though, and like wasn't quite at the level of some of the people we were with, but
me included. I will say that. Well, let's talk about blasts from the past.
Well, today, I thought I'd share about a man that I like to call man next door.
Okay.
Yeah. Those like people from high school or maybe from like your hometown where they like always like want to date you or like there's like flirty feelings but maybe you're not quite feeling it. We go to a brewery.
Oh, nice.
And I'm from Texas, so it was in like the Houston area.
Nice.
It was fun, although I was just trying to have a good time and he was like getting like progressively like more intoxicated.
Was he drinking faster than you? Like, would he have two and you're still on your first, and then he had three and you're still on your second?
I think so. But, like, I kind of, like, wanted to just make sure that, like, I wasn't drinking too much because there was someone to, like, drive home. Because this was probably, like, 20 or 30 minutes from where we lived.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. And, it was fun, but, like, I could tell he was definitely, like, on another level than me.
Like drunker than you?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So then... he's starting to, like, be super affectionate, but I was like, okay, like, I know we've known each other a while, but, like, this is, like, kind of new, and so, like, it's not just, like, oh, we're friends. Oh, now let's be super affectionate.
Right, yeah.
So we get back to the house, and I'm like, hey, this was fun. This was great. I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
But I think, like... towards the end of the date, I did realize, like, oh no, I think this is more of like a friend situation, like it's always been.
So during the date, you figured out for yourself, no, there's nothing here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go inside now. It's good to see you. We'll hang out, like, next time I'm back. But of course he's like, oh no, I want to come in and meet your parents.
What? Okay, did your parents already know him?
They knew of him, yes.
Knew of him?
Yes.
Did they also know that you were going on a quote-unquote date that night with this man, this guy that they kind of know?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, they had never met him before, but they had heard of him.
Okay.
I could get into it, like...
Well, no, but that's... Okay, so then he just invited himself in to talk to your parents.
Yes, so I knocked on the door. My mom or dad answered, and he was at the door with me. What? And he was just like, oh, hi, I'm man next door, and I just really wanted to meet you, and I'd love to, like, come in and, like, talk to you for a little bit.
Wow, what were your parents' reaction? Like, did you see, like, shock on their face? Were they, like, welcoming, like...
I feel like my parents are, like, very welcoming, but also, like, like, laid back, so they were just like, oh, that's great, feel free to come in, but... All right. Once he came in... He, like, was there, like, an hour and a half.
What? Talking
just
to your
talking
parents?
to my parents. And, like,
the whole time? Not just, like you and him talked?
I mean, I was in the room, but I don't know. Like, he was really, like, pushing the conversation forward And then, like, when there was silences, like, you know, my parents would try to, like, fill the silence.
So, like, what do you talk about with for an hour with somebody's parents that you just went on one date? Like, well, it is the first date.
Right.
It still is.
Like,
the
they
first
know
date.
of him, but they don't know, like, anything about him.
So, like, what was the topic of conversation that he was, like, talking to your parents for an hour?
I feel like he went through, like, his life story. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Oh my God.
Of, like, where he grew up, his family structure, like, all of his moving history.
Do you think he would have done this if he hadn't drank as much? Or do you think this was, like, coming from because he drank so much?
Probably a combination. He's pretty outgoing. And, like, he's a nice guy. Like, I don't want to... Like, I still consider myself, like, friends with him. But, yeah, I mean, I think the drinking definitely encouraged that. So, yeah, eventually, after, like, an hour and a half, and I'm not kidding, it literally was, an hour to an hour and a half.
Oh, my gosh.
Once it all wrapped up, and he was like, okay, I think I'm going to go now. Like, I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Wow. Did you debrief? I'm sorry, I know, I am asking so many questions, but this is so interesting to me. Did you debrief with your parents afterwards? Did you guys talk about it? Okay, so what was your parents' thoughts on this situation?
They just thought it was very forward about, you know, wanting to meet them and get to know them on the first date. Which, hey, I mean, that's a very stand-up guy kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think maybe it crossed the line a little bit to go for an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. Flash forward 5-6 years later, whatever. We're both married now.
Okay.
But I know he, like, reached out to me, like, right before my wedding to Golden Man. And he actually got married, I think, like, 2 months, 3 months after it.
Oh, after, okay.
And, you know, like, I'd still, like, talk to him. He obviously knew when I got into a relationship or whatever. And I had talked to him occasionally up till that point. But then... right before the wedding, he was like, oh, you're not going to invite me to your wedding?
What? Why would he? Why? No.
Yeah.
He should not be invited to your wedding. No. What is he thinking?
Yeah, so that was, like, a really awkward conversation, because I was like, I don't know how I would introduce you, and, like, how would that...
Also, did he invite you to his?
No, and
yeah,
so...
No,
yeah.
No.
And, like, I can't imagine going to his wedding and coming to mine.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah.
I think that's very weird.
Yeah. But sorry for that blast from the past. What about you, Sandy? What's your blast from the past this week?
So I dated a guy a couple of years ago. We're going to call him Hockey Man because he played hockey. And also, if you remember, I'm Canadian, so I do like hockey, and hockey players are sometimes attractive. Anywho, so I dated
Sometimes.
him.
I would say oftentimes.
Well, oftentimes, but there are some unattractive hockey players. Like, come on, there are some. Anyways, so Hockey Man, it was about a year on and off. It was like serious at first, and then I was like, you know what, this is just someone I'm gonna just date like casually. So it ended up being a year.
How did you meet Hockey Man?
Tinder, actually.
Oh.
And actually, this is I think I mentioned this on the first podcast. The guy who I went on a date with that hadn't eaten strawberries or grapes. I think I talked about that at some point. That's Hockey Man, actually.
Oh.
So Hockey Man was the one who never ate. So on the first date, he told me never ate a strawberry, whatever, all that. Anyways, so flash forward, it's about a year that we date on and off. Okay, so we ended, and then after we ended, as women do, we kind of keep tabs on our exes every now and then. I'm not gonna, other people do it, not just me.
Right.
So I'm keeping tabs on this guy, and, sorry, I need to say before, when we ended it, he told me he was moving to Virginia to go to the Virginia Military Institute. Now, he worked in, like the athletic department of LMU is like business affairs or whatever, but his dream was to become a president of a university.
Right.
So I was assuming, okay, yes, he's going to Virginia. He got a job opening that will like help him on his career being president or whatever. So I assumed he moved. So, as I mentioned, you do check up on your exes. So I, went to the LMU website and saw that he was still listed as like working there. And I was like,
How long after he had said that he had moved?
Maybe a year or so afterwards. So, your husband Golden Man and I,
Yes.
you know, we were all talking one Thanksgiving, so maybe about a year, because I feel like it was like October to
right.
October.
It was Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving. And I think it was like a year to a year. So yeah, probably about a year out. And so I tell your husband the story of, oh, okay, he moved. I saw he's still in LMU. So her husband, Golden Man, is really funny and decided to call his office to see if it was still him. Because what I was saying was maybe they didn't update the website, right? So they're saying he still works there. Anyways, he leaves a voicemail, because we also call on Thanksgiving, right? It's closed.
Right.
So he leaves a voicemail for the Hockey Man saying something like, it's the Virginia Military Institute calling and he's gone AWOL.
Yes.
And they want to know if he's coming back. Something like that. It was hilarious. It was really funny. And then what I heard, so I was like, oh my gosh, is he going to like call him back? I was so curious. So I asked Golden Man, a couple weeks later, I was like, did he ever call you back? He said he did call him back, but he didn't answer the phone. But there was the same number that called him back. So I don't know. That's very interesting. So I guess moral of that story is be careful who you tell that to, because people who are like funny will probably want to like call the people. Yeah. So like, don't say that stuff, because they'll just call them. And, I mean, there was nothing with me in it. Like, he didn't say it was, my name, Sandy, or anything like that.
Right.
But, he did say Virginia Military Institute, which that guy knows that he told me that, which is clearly a lie now at this point. So he could have connected the dots and said, like, oh, that must be Sandy's friend or something.
Well, enough talking about the past. I think it's time for our segment, Hot Off the Press. Sandy, I hear that, maybe you've been dating a little bit, so
yes.
Really love to hear about that and how that's going.
Well, not good. I'm still single, guys, so don't worry. I'm still single, but I did just get off of dating, we're going to call him Hot and Cold Man. Why we're calling him Hot and Cold Man is, for like 3 years, he wanted to be in a relationship with me. And then now that I'm ready, he does not. So now he's cold. I don't understand. It's like hot and cold. Like, would you want to be with me? Do you not? It's been like 3 years chasing after me. I know him through like, how many years ago that was. I went to a holiday party with Liz, and I met him there, but I didn't really remember him. It was like 3 years ago at a bar. Little bar for St. Patrick's Day, that he saw me and he recognized me. He was like, oh, are you Liz's friend? I was like, oh, yeah. Anyways, and we hit it off that night. So I was dating him now recently, and it didn't work out, right? So I'm still single, so that didn't work out. It's a little bit sad, whatever, but I'm trying to keep going, keep the momentum going, and trying not to be so down on myself, because yet another one, right, didn't work out.
Stop it.
But it is true, and you single ones listening, I know you feel the way I feel, but there is hope. You can always try, right? So anyways, there is this thing that I was targeted for on Facebook called Talkify.
Talkify?
I was targeted because I guess they saw I was single, and I was probably looking at all these single events and things like that. So what Talkify is, for those of you who don't know or who have not been targeted on Facebook yet, it is apparently a personal matchmaker. In which so it's like the tagline's like, tired of dating apps, which yes I am. If you remember the first episode, I am tired of dating apps. So would you like a personal matchmaker? And I didn't really know much about it, but I was like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna sign up and figure this out, see what it is. So I just input my information, whatever, and then they're like, oh, you need to set up a call. And I was like, what? So apparently there's an interview portion. So to even get to this app or service, because I wasn't sure what it was at first, you have to actually have kind of like an intake call, like a call for them to figure out, who you are, what you're looking for, whatever. Anyway, so I fill out their online profile first, and it was just who you are, what you're looking for, and it says specifically, we're not showing this to matches, this is just between us, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So anyway, so I fill it out, I didn't think much of it, and then they're harassing me, texting me, oh, you need to set up your call, I was like, fine. So I set up this call. It was this past week. And so I get the call, and so she's like, okay, well, how did you find us? Facebook. All right, what are you looking for? I say, and like specific qualities. So they actually ask for qualities.
So what are your qualities?
So my qualities, I said to them, was like family person. So someone who likes to like spend time with their family, like they don't hate their family, whatever.
Okay.
I said good sense of humor. I said financially responsible. So I don't care. You don't need to be rich,
Right.
but you need to know how to manage your money and not like be in debt like
That's
forever.
very mature of you.
Yeah, so that's one of mine, and I explained it to her too, whatever. And what else did I say? I don't remember now. But anyways, and then she also asked, it's very interesting. She asked, well, what qualities do you have that you think that would be a good match? And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. So they ask you about yourself.
So what did you say?
Good sense of humor. It was basically the same thing about the guys, but me.
Yeah.
So good sense of humor, good with money, family person. Yeah, pretty much it was like echoing the same thing.
Okay, this is a whole other topic for another podcast, but
Yeah.
I just have to ask in this particular interview, did they ask if you have a type?
They did! Oh, good thing for bringing that up because I would have forgotten. They actually asked about height.
Oh, really?
They did, straight up. They were
Well, I
just
didn't say height, I just said type.
Okay, well, they did. They said, what would you... Yeah, what's your type? What are you looking for? And then, I don't have a type. We will talk about this later, but for what your information right now, I don't have a type. I will date anyone as long as...
That's debatable.
Whatever. We'll talk about it later. So right now, the reason why that's important is, so she asked me, like, what are you looking for? Or, like, do you have a type? I said, no, like, anything's fine. No, she did actually ask about deal breakers.
Okay.
And my deal breakers...
Yes.
Sorry for anyone's listening. I'm not saying anything about you. It's just what I'm looking for. I said not married before and not had kids.
Okay.
So that's just all my own personal preference. I have nothing against people who have been divorced or who have kids. It's just my personal preference. So I just wanted to say that.
Yes.
Anyway, so she did ask about deal breakers. And then the other thing was... But it was a straight up question. It wasn't even like what is your ideal man or whatever. It was actually like straight up, does height matter? And I was like, no, it doesn't. I said it.
And you're 5'2"?
I'm 5'2", yes. So you also have to know I'm short, so that's probably why that is the way it is. So anyway, so we talked about all that, and then this is the thing. So she explained what it was. So now I learned a little bit more. So it's personal matchmaker that will go through the matches for you. Apparently go on interviews with the guys too. So when she started saying all this stuff, in my head, it was like money signs. I was like, money signs. This is going to be expensive as shit. And so, anyway, so she's telling me, so the matchmaker will go on the dates for you, will do interviews for you, like they call them like first dates. So basically like first dates for you. We'll find someone that actually matches with you and like whatever. It sounds like a good thing.
Yeah.
Until you hear how much it costs.
Oh, wow.
Liz,
so are we talking about...
What do you think? What I just described to you, what would you assume that would cost you?
What is the outcome? Is it 3 dates with 3 different people? Is it a certain amount of months that are allotted?
12 months, 12 dates. 1 date per month.
Well, thinking of LA, I'm going to go with...
This is like a national organization though, I think.
10 grand.
Oh, okay, not that bad. Not that bad.
Okay.
But,
6 grand?
Over 5 grand.
Okay.
And I just thought that was ridiculous. But she was just nonchalantly, oh yeah, it's $5,400, blah 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 blah. But if you sign up now, it's like a discount of like $200 and all this crap. And I was like, no, like in my head, I was like, absolutely not. 5 grand. I could travel for that. I could save money. Why would I spend 5 grand? That is ridiculous.
I mean...
And I couldn't, even if I found my future husband from that, I can't do that to myself. I paid 5 grand for my husband, basically. Like, that's in my head how I would, like, just me. Again, everyone's different. Not gonna knock on anyone who's doing this. But for me, I would think that I spent 5 grand on finding my husband. And that's ridiculous. That's not not gonna do it. Anywho, so that's my story about that. So I'm not doing it.
I mean, I think it just comes down to how much you value your time and how, like, because if they're predating these people.
That's the thing. And so that's what their tagline, I guess, what she was telling me was that it's for people who either, like, don't have time to date or they're tired of, like, sorting through people. So it's basically, like, they will sort through people. And like I said, they go on interviews/dates with them. And she also said they have the largest database, which I don't believe because I don't think it's a big thing yet. I think it's because they targeted me on Facebook, so...
Well, we'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
My last question.
Yes.
Did you give an age range?
Oh, yes, I did. And I said 30 to 40. I'm 31. And I said 30 to 40. There's no one under 30. I'm over that. I mean, apparently...
What about 29?
No. I don't know. Whatever. I could be doing some...
But, Sandy, I thought you didn't have a type.
I don't have a type.
We'll get to it on the podcast.
They have to be financially stable. And I feel like any man in their 20s is not financially, like, smart. Like, they don't know what to do with their money because they're so young.
That's interesting, Sandy. I hope Talkify, I guess it's not going to work out for you. But...
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do Talkify. Anyways, enough about me. We talked about me way too much. So what's going on in your life right now in terms of your marriage and, like, what's a good happening thing?
Well, this is, like, not a good happening thing.
Oh,
it's
God,
like
what?
a small happening thing.
Okay.
So, I'm an only child.
Yes.
I've been told that I don't really act like an only child, which I take as a compliment.
Okay.
But, you know, I do like one-on-one time. Sometimes I like to be alone.
Yeah.
And I'm also, like, I'm very used to, like, my stuff being my stuff.
That's true.
And it not, like, disappearing.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I've only ever been by myself with my parents, and they're not going to take my toys or
that's
whatever.
True. Yeah, that's true. Didn't think about that, but
yeah. So with Golden Man and I, among other things, sometimes he likes to take my stuff and not put it back.
Okay.
And I don't like that.
Great. All right.
So a couple birthdays ago, I got a very cool Caticorn cup, which if you don't know what a Caticorn is, it's a cat that has a horn and it's a unicorn.
I wish you guys could see this cup right now. She has it in her hand. It is amazing.
We will post it on our social channels.
Yes, let's post that because this is great.
But essentially, it's a rainbow kitty with a unicorn horn. And the cup says, "You are as special as a Caticorn."
Oh, that's cute.
Yes. So I was given this gift as a birthday present by my mother.
Okay.
And it's great. Like, I love rainbow stuff. It's purple. It's girly. It's unicorn. It's kitty. I love kitties. I love unicorns. I've collected them for, like, years and years. So... my bachelorette party was unicorn themed.
It was.
Anyway, so that's the background of the cup.
Okay.
But for some reason, Golden Man decided that because the cup was really big and he could fill it up really high, that he wanted to use the cup. Okay. So he decided to, like, always use it, the original cup. And, like, take it into his little garage office. And, you know, just
So, wait,
stuff.
I'm going to stop you. Did he ever ask you, because that's clearly your cup with a cat unicorn on it, so it's very distinct in yours. Did he ever ask you, hey, can I use your cup, or just, like, assume
No, he just took it. And, by the way, I've, like, bought him, like, I think one Christmas, I've bought him, like, 2, like, coffee water tumblers, which is what this Caticorn cup
yes,
is.
the Caticorn, yes, it's a tumbler, yes.
So he kept using it, and then all of a sudden I noticed that the Caticorn cup hasn't really been showing up anymore.
Oh.
And I kept questioning him about it because I knew he was the last person to have the Caticorn cup.
Okay.
And he was just like, oh no, I have no idea what happened. And then, like, eventually his story started to, like, evolve to, like, maybe something happened to it. Who knows?
What?
And then so I, like, immediately, like, started questioning him.
Yeah.
And he won't admit that, like, he did something with the Caticorn cup.
So it was still, like, when you're having these conversations, it's still missing. You don't know where it is.
Still missing. No sign of it. He's, like, not the cleanest person. And so I would look through his car and through our garage, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh, and it wasn't in the dishwasher. It wasn't in your like shelves.
No, but
it was like disappeared completely.
Yes, but he gets in these moods where he just like cleans. I'm doing the quotes. Yes. Cleans things, but that's really like just where he like throws away bags of stuff and like doesn't even look at like what's in them.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you think he threw it out?
Yes, and like I've had to have serious conversations with him because he's thrown my stuff out before and not even asked me. And I have, like, serious boundary issues with that.
Well, because you're only child, like you said. That's true. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Anyway, so the Caticorn cup never showed up. I decided after 3 to 4 months that I had to buy another Caticorn cup because this was a very special gift from my mom.
Oh, no. So wait, did you ask your mom, like, where she got it? Like, how did you know?
Oh, no. It had a Hallmark tag on it, so I knew it was from Hallmark.
Oh, okay. Got
my mom's a big Hallmark shopper.
Okay.
So I went on the Hallmark site. There was none. And then I just had to, like, go online and Google Caticorn cup. And there was only one result that came up.
No!
And it was on Amazon.
Oh my god.
And it had a different color lid than the one that I had previously.
No.
But because Golden Man just like doesn't think about this, I already had the lid. So literally, it was just the cup that I was missing.
Okay. Well, because when you guys use it, you don't use a lid. Is that why?
Oh, I use the lid.
Oh, but he does.
Some people that aren't detail-oriented don't use the lid.
So you bought a whole new one?
So I bought a whole new Caticorn cup. I put it on our joint credit card because it's obviously his fault.
That's what I was going to say. You better charge him.
And this is not cheap. This was like $20. So
$20? It's a tumbler, guys. It's just a tumbler.
Guys, it's Tervis. That's a really good brand.
All
anyway.
Right, I don't know anything about
It's a hot-cold tumbler.
Oh.
Anyway. But now, Golden Man has the audacity to, whenever the cup is clean, use it and immediately go for it. And he has all these other tumblers to choose from, and he still chooses the unicorn, the Caticorn cup.
Oh, God.
Anyway, I'm really nervous that it's going to get lost or thrown away again.
Did you, like, already tell him, hey, please don't use this?
Yes, I tell him repeatedly, and he hadn't used it, but then today, he got it out and used it again. Without permission. And this cup is like, I feel like it just symbolizes like everything I stand for. And now I know that it was the last one literally that I could find online. So there's no more left. So if he throws it away, it's bad.
Wow.
Anyway.
Well, that is terrible. I hope he doesn't throw it away. And maybe you should like use it and hide it somewhere. And then he can't have it.
I know.
Just hide it.
I know. I hide other things like not like serious things, but like food I want to keep, really good wine I want to keep.
That's so great.
So this might be on the list now.
This is, I guess, what married life is like, guys.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Anyway, enough about that. I think it's time for some Never Have I Ever.
Ooh, yes. Never have I ever. Never have I ever punched through a window when I was maybe 9 years old or 11.
Oh, man.
How old were you?
I think I was 9.
Yeah, so I think you should tell the story and like try to, it's such a great story though, guys, it's such a great story. So just say the story and what you can.
Well, essentially, I was 9. I went to a birthday party with a girl that I went to school with. Hadn't really hung out with her too much except for at school. But yeah, she invited me to her birthday party. This was like back when the Spice Girls were big. So like we dressed up, listened to the music.
Wait, was it just you two or more people?
Oh no, it was probably like 6 or 7 girls maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, so I grew up in Texas. I know we've mentioned that, as did Sandy, at different parts. So essentially at the end of the night, we were in a 1-bedroom house.
Okay.
Sitting in her brother's room, waiting to wash our hair out, which we had teased up to be the Spice Girls.
Oh God, love it.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, her mom comes in the room, the birthday girl's mom, and says, hey, we've been watching TV, and there's this report on the news that there's a guy running around with a chainsaw killing people. Just wanted to let you guys know.
Okay, was this like at the time of Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I think it was probably around like the
Oh, right.
or the
Yes,
sequel. I don't know if it's a sequel or like a remake.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But, you know, I was a very innocent 9-year-old and I didn't know anything about that.
She says innocent now, but wait for the rest of the story. Keep going.
Anyway, so I was a little worried, but I was like, there's like, you know, 70,000 homes in our town where we live in Texas. I think I'll be okay. Little do we know that the birthday girl's stepdad had gone in the attic through a ladder and like a window to the attic in the backyard. So we never saw him. And he was in there and he started a chainsaw.
Why would he do that? I don't understand.
And I don't know if everyone's attics are the same, but at least in my part of Texas where I grew up, all the attics have a ceiling entrance.
Yes,
so they're in the ceiling and you pull a cord to bring down a ladder. Mm-hmm. So the room we were in, the only exit from it was right where that entrance to the attic was.
Oh, okay, like the only door was right where the
doorway led right out to where the ceiling had the attic pole.
Got it.
So all the little girls that I was with freaked out and started to like hide under beds or like go in the closet. But I didn't want to die, and so I didn't want to hide. And then I didn't want to like run out into the hallway where that attic pole was, because I was like, oh, what if I run out right when he's coming down from the attic?
I mean,
which I thought it was the guy coming to kill people.
Right.
So I saw there was a window in the room, and I looked around, and I couldn't see in like the closets to see if there was anything I could throw through the window. I did see a TV, but I was 9 at the time, and I was like, that's really heavy. I don't know if I could pick it up and throw it through a window to get out.
Oh, man.
So I punched the window to get out of the house.
Wow. Okay, 9 years old and just punched a window?
Yeah, well, I didn't feel like dying, like...
Holy moly. Yeah, I know, but you said all your other, like, friends that are the same age as you, like, hid under beds, hid in closets, right? Like, hid. You had the, like, notion in your head to just be like, screw this, I'm getting out of here, and, like, punch a window.
Well, I think after the fact, I heard that some people may have known that it was a joke, but I was not in on that secret.
Some of your friends?
Yes, or like this was an ongoing like family joke or something. So
no way.
But I was not in on the joke. So
okay, but you punched a window.
So I punched the window.
Yeah, we need to talk about what you have now that shows this.
Yes, and then I think either right before punch number 2.
How many? Wait, you punched it twice?
I think I punched it once, and then I was like cocking back to punch again because I still wasn't able to get out of the house by punching the window.
Wow.
But yeah, they stopped me, and the mom kind of opened the attic and said there'd been an emergency, and my arm was covered in blood.
My God.
Luckily, the girl's mom and her stepdad were both paramedics, so they knew how to bandage it and take me to the hospital. My dad was on business travel internationally during the time, so my mom got a call at midnight that they had to pick her up and we had to go to the hospital. But yeah, so I have a scar on my right arm. 69 stitches.
Cute. 69? Wait, I never heard that.
69.
See, that is really funny. But you had, wow, I didn't know there was that many stitches.
Yep. And I have another small scar on my wrist.
Oh my gosh.
But you can barely tell.
So this friend now, are you currently in contact with them and their
we are parents? Facebook friends. And like we actually like got along with the family.
Okay.
Like, my parents are pretty understanding. Like there was never any like bad feelings or anything.
That's so but why?
And they were very apologetic.
Okay. All right.
And yeah, like we're not super close, but like, I stay in contact like via Facebook and kind of see what's going on with them. So
wow. That is an amazing story. You were, excuse my language, but badass.
Oh, thank you.
Like, how, 9 years old, just punching through a window?
Just didn't want to die.
No, that's amazing. So I think the moral of that is if there's that, like, end of the world or whatever, just, like, tag around with you and you'll, like, punch people or punch things or, like, you'll survive.
Oh.
You'll definitely survive.
Well, I'm a fighter.
Yeah, sure. You're definitely a fighter. Absolutely.
Yeah. But that brings me to my last Never Have I Ever.
Okay.
We can dive into this on later episodes. but never have I ever directly participated in speed dating. And I want to hear about this.
Okay, she says directly because she was there, but just cheering me and our friend on. So, but she was there.
So fun.
Okay. I will say it is fun if you have fun with it and don't treat it seriously.
Okay.
So the reason why me and our friend had fun was because we were just like, screw it, we're just going to ask like random questions. Like, if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be? If you could get $1 billion, what would you do with it? Like questions like that. It wasn't like, who are you? What do you do? Because we realized that's going to get boring, right? You have like 10 people you're going through. You're not going to be like, oh, what do you do? Oh, cool. That's what you do. Like, you want to get to know, like, interesting facts.
Yeah.
So we would just ask those random questions. Sometimes it worked, and sometimes the guys were just like, I want a wife. Are you wife material? Like, it was just random stuff like that. But I would say for the most part, the guys actually appreciated it and even said it. They're like, because I was after our friend, so they would be like, oh, you two had the best questions. We're like, yeah, duh. Like, we don't want it to be boring. Like, it needs to be fun. So yeah, anyways, it was a lot of fun. I would probably do it again, maybe. But okay, no good quality men came out of it, but it was still fun. But something that you know about me, obviously, is that even if it's fun but not leading to anything, I'll still do it, right? The alien guy who ate from my plate and whatever, I still can continue that date when I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I would probably do it again. Oh. But just for the like humor part of it, I don't think that it would lead to anything.
Well, you never know.
I guess you never know, but I think it wouldn't. But yes.
Well, I think that's all we have for today.
Yes, that is.
But we appreciate you guys listening and hope to have you listen in on our next podcast.
Yes, see you next time.